There's a famous American activist, I don't want to mention his, but a hijabi, well-known, very, very, positive, politically representing Islam. But some of her alliances and views and whatnot are perhaps somewhat problematic. And we've had, me and herself, we're actually friendly, and we have had public, friendly back and forth. I'm not going to call it debate, where I have publicly said, look, I understand. No need to mention names.
Okay.
No, it's like,
I thought you public said,
Well, the interview there is public. So actually, you're right, this is public. So it's Linda Sarsour's dispatch, right?
Yeah.
And here in England, we actually had a nice conversation about this. Like, look, I said, I understand what you're doing, and I disagree with these issues because you do give an ambiguous message. When you say politically, we don't want the American government to get involved. And you never bring, I said, we know this, she never brings in Islam. She never says Islam allows this. She never says this, right? So I said, I appreciate that you, and she herself, she's not wanting to reinterpret the faith. That's not her job or role. But she's saying politically, I want the government to not get involved, right? The private issues between men and women or whatnot, this is not the government's role to do. Their freedom is our freedom, basically. Their freedom to do whatever is our freedom to do that. I say, I understand this, but it is also, please understand that we also find issues problematic with this. And of them is, you do send a double message to our younger kids.
Exactly,
right? So we said this publicly on stage in America and in England.
And what was her reaction to that?
I mean, in the end of the day, she's not a sheikh or alim, and she doesn't claim to be. She's a political activist. So she, in her mind, she believes she has a role to play, and she thinks I have a role to play. And she said this on Al Jazeera, by the way. On Al Jazeera, she said, if you have any fatwa you want about these issues, go to Sheikh Yasir. So she said this. Right? So she knows what she's saying when she says.
If we just go to you, then you could repeal everything that she said.
No, a fatwa on the issues of this from a religious perspective, right? She's saying, I'm not giving fatwas, for example.
Do you know what I see from a political angle now? I'm not talking from a religious. I think we've covered that. I think you've really done well to cover that. But the point is, I know this is probably the last thing we'll talk about. From a political angle, I think this could be a boomerang, because what could happen is that, especially the neoconservative right-wing enemy, can say, look,
I totally agree with you. That's why I'm not a politician.
Right.
But it's easier for mashayikh and ulama and du'at to speak the truth. It's easier for us because we're not running for office or not trying to push politics. And I'm very skeptical. I'm a person who's very, very skeptical of the efficiency of politics.
Are we never going to see you running for office in America?
No, don't worry about that. It's a corruptive force. It corrupts and it corrupts you. And this is the way Sunnatullah fi khalqi inna al-muluka idha dakhalu qaryatan afsaduha wa ja'alu a'izzata ahliha adhilla. Throughout human history, generally speaking, even in our own dynasties, when you look at it, right? They don't stop romanticizing. What did our own people do? When you're in power, you have to go after your enemy. Going after your enemy, eliminating them. That's what happens, right? Alhamdulillah, we are not in power. Politics, almost all of it is filthy. And that's why the Khulafa al-Rashidun are the Khulafa al-Rashidun. They're the exception. They're the exception. That's why we aggrandize them. And even in the last of their times, amongst the Muslim civil war happened, right? So by and large, I am somebody who wants to avoid all of this. But those of us that are outside the field, we need to understand that there is some benefit for us when somebody does something in that world. And in order for them to do that, they have to live very differently and say differently than we do. So I'm not supporting, but you never find me becoming a great enemy of the people.
I get the point. It's a fine balance.
It's a fine balance. And that's why, if you look at my Twitter and Facebook, I've never ever... Look, as long as a person wants to benefit the ummah as a civilization, right? I can't take that person as an enemy, even if I disagree with specific issues that they have. There are political
issues, important issues.
Yeah, but I'll disagree theologically and morally. But I won't cut off and take that person as an enemy when they are, in the long run, in some way, directly or indirectly benefiting the ummah. We have elected politicians, and again, here I can be public, this is public. The only muhajjib in our Congress, Ilhan Umar, right? I strongly disagree with many of her stances on transgender and LGBT. Strongly disagree, right? But in the end of the day, her presence in that auditorium and hall is a huge, huge blessing for us as a community, right? And it comes at a significant cost of it comes with a significant benefit of our political presence, right?
But can I ask?
And let me. She's also taken on the Uyghur cause. She's also supported, Turkey and some of issues that they've done. She's also the first person to publicly bring in the issue of the APAC lobby, which has opened the doors. No politician before has been as blunt, and after she came, it opened a whole door. Now, a lot of khair has come.
Agreed.
Now, in my humble opinion, and I'm not supporting what she's done, she couldn't have done that khair without that evil that is also there.